numbered only 6 people. Wingfoot had a whole banquet room, a partitioned space, to fill up with people and food. Nick declined our offer and said everybody should meet up at his mother's restaurant, Ho's, and he won the argument. I was surprised the Thanksgiving meal wouldn't be at Jeffery Vue's eatery, actually. I figured as the president of AAROA, he'd be ready to jump in with the meeting location. Then again, maybe he didn't want to deal with the cleanup on his day off. Plus, I'd heard from Pa that he was rearranging his priorities and currently focusing on his dating life. Despite the contentious venue, Celine's ambitious social media influencer inclination to put a shine on the event meant that my cousin and I arrived early on Thanksgiving to decorate the restaurant in advance of the dinner. She stood in front of Ho's, carrying a large cardboard box, while I tapped on the glass door. Nick came and greeted us with a half-hearted wave. Although it appeared like he'd just woken up, I knew his signature bedhead look took meticulous styling. He'd mastered the effect in high school and then added bleached strands and a goatee to the hair mix post-college. He pushed the door open to let us in. "If it isn't the deadly Yee duo." "Very funny," I said, although I hadn't seen any humor in the situation when I'd literally run into a dead body with my food cart during the night market event around Halloween. "Can't believe you wrote that I made brutal boba." Nick had run a column in his Eastwood Village Connection blog about how the night market had turned deadly, perhaps due to my fatal recipe. "Who are you to complain?" he said. "People were lining up at Chennai and Chai last weekend for your signature drink." I stopped a sigh from escaping my lips. Who knew what would catch people's fancy? Night market goers did like ordering my grapefruit green tea with boba, those chewy tapioca balls for the fun of it. Maybe they felt like they were daring death, even though the police had cleared my drink of any suspicion after they'd arrested the real killer. "Ho's small eats didn't do so badly either," I said, referring to the food stand Nick and his mother ran, a neighboring stall to our own. I'd seen a line snaking before them, people eager to eat spiced popcorn chicken and enjoy freezing cold shaved ice. Celine dropped her box on the long counter of Ho's, and it landed with a heavy thump. "Less talking, more work," she said. "It might take a miracle to transform this place in only 1 hour." I studied the restaurant, again reflecting on the fact that a 1950s diner had previously been in this location. Ho's still retained red vinyl booths and checkerboard flooring. They'd even kept the swivel bar stools lined up along the counter. "This place has never really screamed Taiwanese to me. It's the authentic food cooked in here that draws in our customers," Nick said in an irritated tone. I wasn't sure which hurt him more, that I'd put down his family's restaurant or that I knew the dishes he referred to didn't come from his own hands. Mrs. Ho still didn't trust her son to do more than serve and wipe down the tables. I leaned toward the kitchen door. In fact, I could hear some banging around in there. Maybe she'd already started preparing. Dad should also be there, and maybe Roy Yamada, all members of the AAROA. They'd bonded over their stories about immigrating to America, and also the fact that they'd lost their spouses within the past 10 years. Mr. Yamada had been widowed the least amount of time. His wife had died last year after a bout with aggressive cancer. Celine clapped her hands together twice to get Nick's and my attention. "Here's what I'm envisioning," she said. My cousin was a foodstagrammer, and while she loved her food shots on Instagram the most, I could see her creative brain working as she laid out her Thanksgiving design plan. She wanted to decorate the tabletops with scented spice candles, arrange a line of painted pumpkins along the counter, and pin a garland of colorful walnuts against a wall. "How do you know so much about Thanksgiving anyway?" I said. "Isn't it an American holiday?" "I live in Hong Kong," she said, "not Antarctica." "We're not even having turkey per tradition," I said, as I shook my head at Nick. "Newsflash," he said. "Nobody likes turkey. Usually it comes out too dry." "I like turkey," I said, grabbing a few orange candles and bunching them together.